Good evening, everyone. It's me, your boy, Cranio Dad. No, I haven't had anything to drink yet tonight, but I am going a little bit off the rails. I don't even have my light on, so there's that. And we are back with another session of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. And I got really tired of the way that this layout looks, so I wanted to change a few things. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that. Thank you so much, Chancellor, for that subscription. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and change our layout. This looks much better. It's not perfect. Oh, except for the fact that Cirrus is halfway cut off.
The new layout is very slimming.
It's very slimming. It's very slimming. It is. It is. But let me fix Cirrus really quick. It looked great before I hit go live. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I'm your host and Dungeon Master, Cranio Dad, and we are continuing the tale of Ghost of Saltmarsh and the group Misfortune's Glory. With me tonight, I have all of the players. Why don't you guys go ahead and go around and introduce yourself while I fix this layout for Cirrus.
Hello, Chancellor87 on Twitter. I am Rogelio, a rogue, a swashbuckling rogue now. He's an adventurer and sailor who's had one too many adventures. But he's told his wife this is the last one. And based on previous activities, it's going to be the last one way or another.
It's almost been the last one a couple different times. Kelly Hobbit on Twitch and Twitter, and I am playing Sun's Dragonborn Paladin of Lathander. It's, along with the rest of the party leveled to 3, which means we have an oath. About that, took Oath of the Ancients, given all the reference to light and so forth, so pretty cool with that. And playing another game of Dungeons and Dragons. It's been a week, and I'm ready for some. Good to see everybody, and glad to be here to play some more Ghosts.
I'm Miss Misery, and I am playing Ivy Price, the Tempest Sorcerer, who likes to predict everybody's deaths, and she's a little bit angry she didn't get to predict Rogelio's.
She still might.
Maybe.
am nerdy_Viking on Twitter. I go by Adam. I am playing Calder Svensson, the human Eldritch Knight fighter of the group. A week off from some D&D. I'm ready to get back in to see what at us this week.
And I am Shannon, Logic across all the internet, and I'm playing Deluge Marshhand, the bard from the College of Whispers. And it's gonna be so much fun, you guys. Oh, it's gonna be great. Who knows what stupid stuff I'll do this week, right?
That is how I build myself up to get ready for every single week, is to ask, what is Shannon going to do this week? So I want to, again, thank you, Chancellor and Gidge for the resub for 3 months with my channel, and Chancellor for your Twitch Prime as well. That does earn you guys 2 more Dissonant Whispers, so you are up to a total of 5. For the audience out there, every 500 bits, every sub, and every follow will give the players pre-roll advantage, or cause them to ask me to roll at disadvantage for the number that you see on this side, because I switched my camera over here. So we're also working on a couple of giveaways. Every 2,000 bits we receive, I will give away a set of dice to somebody into the continental U.S. until I send a package to somebody like Oddity, who will then be able to send it for me to Canada, because it is more expensive to send the dice across to Canada than it is to buy them, by about a factor of $10 to 1. So, and if we reach 5,000 bits, I will be giving away a copy of Ghost of Saltmarsh. So without any further ado, please allow me to give a very brief recap, and we will dive into this evening's tale. So, to take it all the way back, Answering the call for help, the adventurers left Vilkstead under the agreement of paid travel, room, and board for 10 days. And adventure. After 19 days at sea, with one unplanned and amazing stop at Crow Island, the party reached the town of Saltmarsh. They met with their employer, one Varus Nightbreeze, at their new base of operations, the Sea Breeze Tavern. In order to make work as an adventuring party in the region, the party would need to show their worth to the town council. As an advisor to the said council, Nightbreeze sent them to investigate the issues surrounding the house up the coast. The party met and interrogated a poacher named Jameson, who was facing the death penalty, and learned that there is some things that are going on at the house. They made it to the house and worked their way through the first floor, finding hidden passages to the basement, and quickly learned that they were not the only ones in the house. Clearing the first floor then, and by the way of hidden passages, the basement and the caves, after a long-fought battle, the adventurers then rounded the corner and found a rowboat and a whole bunch of goods, namely plants, cloth, and rum. Sea of Thieves. They decided to clear the house and came across a bound and gagged elf adventurer who stopped at the house to rest. He, too, was seeking to become an adventurer in Saltmarsh and wanted to leave the house. The party wanted to make their way as well, but seeing an opportunity when the party was dealing with a whole mess of sturges, the elf attacked Rogelio, killing him, and made for the woods. Only the utter prayer from the lips of the dragonborn paladin Circes was able to save Rogelio from 3 failed death saves. Last week we picked back up after a 2-week break, and the players recovered a bear-trapped Ned, the same elf that had killed Rogelio, and took him to Nightbreeze for interrogation. They found out that Nightbreeze has an interesting side to him, and he has an interesting room down in the basement of the tavern. They also mentioned to the town guards that it was Jameson's traps that may have helped Ned, or bring Ned to justice, but they didn't have Ned with them, so we'll see how that plays out. Receiving a hefty reward from the town council for the cargo, they also received a plea to go back to the house and stop this smuggling trade once and for all. On the way there, the party was ambushed by a party of lizard folk brandishing shiny new spears, something that caught the attention of most of the party. Tonight, our story continues as our players find themselves in the house working through the first night's watch. No ships came through, staring out a window at an endless sea, watching the tide move back and forth. With that, players, you awaken upon your own choosing. It is now dawn. You can hear the telltale signs or sounds of a cart off in the distance coming up the only pathway to the coast. What would you like to do?
You said we're all awake by now?
You guys are all awake. You guys, I had you guys roll at the end of the session to see if anything happened on your first night's watch, and nothing did. So,
I guess if we hear the telltale signs of a cart, I'm definitely... Actually, I gotta shift to a window where I can see where I know the road is.
Yeah, you guys have been in the house long enough that you can probably guess which room you need to go into. And it's actually there's a window across the hall from the last room with the now collapsed floor. So not the room that you guys have been sitting in with the bullseye lantern, the room next to it. And give me a perception check.
Ready? Why did I picked up the wrong die? That is a 12.
You are now blind. No, it is perfectly fine. You are able to see a ways off down the trail. Maybe you hadn't realized the vantage point that this house actually has up on the hill. So yes, this is a haunted house up on the hill. And you are able to see that there are 2 guards coming with a third person who is pulling a cart. Presumably this may be the group that was supposed to come meet you with some supplies, and maybe not. We don't know.
If no one else came over with me, I'd go back to the room where everyone is and been... I think those guards are finally showing themselves. Looks like they're coming up the road with a cart.
No one looks lizardy, do they? No offense, but like evil lizardy.
They didn't look lizardy to me.
Yeah, you rolled a 12 though.
You're at least a little bit over halfway certain that they are not lizardy.
I'm over halfway certain that they are
How-
not lizardy.
Where are they? Did you see?
It looks like a couple of guards. That's as much as I could tell.
How far? You are?
Down the road a little ways.
You
I mean,
could
they
probably safely estimate that they'd be there within the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, they'll probably be here in the next 30 minutes or so.
And we haven't cleaned. Our house is a mess. We can't have guests.
I guess I'll go put the kettle on.
Wait, do we even have that?
Ooh, that's a fun question. Miss Misery, why don't you go ahead and roll me an investigation check as you walk into the kitchen?
You bring any of those bugs up, I'm gonna scream and turn off the stream.
We
We've had
cleaned them
this
out.
discussion. What do I have to roll?
An investigation check.
Investigation. 13.
13. You find a kettle that should be serviceable.
Excellent. Oh, put it
And
on
there
the
is
boil.
running water. It takes a little bit for it to not be. There's a slight tinge of brown at first. Maybe the water just hasn't been turned on in a while. And there's some adequate pressure. As you are kind of fiddling with things in the kitchen, you can look outside and see that there is also a pump that seems to be rather serviceable that may lead from another well underneath the house into it. That being around for a while, just to kind of to let you figure out how the story needs to be played. What you would need to do is every day or so, somebody will probably need to go out and pump enough to build up enough pressure in the lines to allow running water to exist within the house. If it's not pumped up enough, you don't have running water, but it's not that you don't have water, it's just that there's no pressure. Or there's the dying well, where there's a still couple of desiccated snake bits down below.
I was just thinking that. I was picturing her looking at the window with the kettles going, I have to get Deluge to clean that out. And then putting water on a really high boil.
But after a
Steve,
very short period of time, the rust color from the clay lines leaves, and the water is seemingly clear. You are able to fill your kettle, and there is a wood burning stove in the kitchen.
I'm just gonna boil the Jesus out of it.
Okay.
I'm making team for myself. I'm not making it for anybody else.
Anything else that anybody else would like to do?
I think I would just, I'd probably just keep an eye out on the cart as it approached.
Okay.
Like a little bit before all this is like I guess woke up. I would have started to through the course of the night. My axes it up and pull out the brazier and the components, and I'm gonna cast here.
Find familiar. All right. So let me. I need you to roll a percentile die.
Use my familiar. Alright, let me see. This day I get to choose.
Yeah, I know. I'm just seeing. I need you to roll percentile die to see what type of familiar I'll be able to allow you to choose from. It will all make sense, I promise.
It's going to take the shape of a raven. We'll have to pick.
I can allow Raven, but I definitely need percentile die to see one factor about the Raven, whether or not.
Another percentile die roll.
Yeah.
What?
What was it you cut out?
E6, 7-6.
Perfect. All right, so you are able to sit there for a moment and focus, and to your mind, you remember the Crow's Island, and you hear the telltale caw. In fact, all of you do, and you look outside the window as your eyes open, and you see it is a raven, but unlike other ravens, it has two white streaks on the wings, resembling the same white of the ravens and the crows from Crow's Island.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see it sitting there looking at you looking around. It's shifting its head very quickly. But you now have a familiar that is a raven.
Alright, so I guess I'm gonna basically tell him to fly around, keep an eye on those looks like
Yeah,
when
and
they start getting closer to me.
yeah, absolutely. And we will assume that you started this earlier in the day, because the casting time on that is 1 hour. So we'll assume that you already had the raven and you were able to definitely set it out and have it fly around. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And you can see your raven flying around, and that is where we will be with that. At this point in time, you can see that not just you get notified from the raven, but also from Rogelio from your purview. You can see that the guards are now entering what is probably accepted to be the property. There's some low stone walls that are a little bit dilapidated, but they are now on the property on the road. They are about 10 minutes away. As you guys have been paying attention and looking out, you can definitely tell that these people are dressed as city guards, and there is a third person with them. It looks to be a half orc who is pulling a cart along with them, and you can see a burlap cloth that covers the back of the cart, and they're just casually walking towards the house. Yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Okay, Circe would have begun his day in prayer to Lathander.
Yes.
Customary. Would way out as they get within,
You cut out again.
make my way out front to meet them as they get close to the house.
Got it. So it's very easy. You walk out the door from the kitchen, pass by the well, and you come up and you are within shouting distance of them, and they are as described.
Good morning. Oh, yeah.
Are you guys the adventurers? And one of them pulls out like this torn piece of paper cloth and misfortune's glory.
That would be us. My name is Circe Bronzemist. I'd like to welcome you here. Thank you for coming up here.
Hey,
And
the town council from Saltmarsh sent us up here with some supplies, and apparently we're supposed to start some kind of guard rotation to help you guys look for ships at the sea post. Hooray!
that sounds excellent.
We-
So let's bring the cart around to the back of the house. We could probably take it in through the back door. That's where the kitchen is.
All right, and Jarl, go ahead and take it up to the back door. We're gonna walk around the front of the property and see what we need to see, if that's okay.
Well, yes. Make yourselves familiar with the grounds.
All right. So the half orc just begrudgingly hauls the cart over by the door. He pulls off the tarp. Is anybody else downstairs or by the door?
I would have gone to the kitchen because I had a matter I needed to talk to Oddity about in private.
Do you want to deal with
Yeah,
that
I'm still
now,
there.
and then we can roll that in?
Sure.
Okay.
I'd come down, my hands behind my back, holding something, and be like, Oddity, my favorite soothsayer, how's it going?
Deeply suspicious.
Of what?
You, my dear.
Why?
I know your face.
Yes, it's
That's
the
your
only one I
suspicious
have.
face.
All of my faces are suspicious.
Exactly.
Hmm.
I mean this
Warranted.
with love, of course.
Anyway, I found the most amazing thing at the shops the other day, and I thought,
Listen.
who better to give it to than my good friend?
Okay.
So I take it out. I used the twine that I bought to make a sort of necklace with a cage that could hold the pearl, and I give it to Oddity. This
Nice.
is a magnificent necklace, if I do say so myself. It's very rustic, I know, but it has magical properties. Ones
In-
that will come in handy, no doubt, in the coming well, however long we have together.
Okay, thank you so much. Do you want your tea leaves read? I have a cup right here.
Sure. More death, I hope.
Yeah, she'll get you to drink the tea, she'll swirl around, put it down, and she looks at it and just go, you won't die this week. And she's got it on, the necklace on. She's got to pull it tighter so it's here. Because the rest of her gaudy costume jewelry is just all the way the rest down.
Now, about the pearl. It will eventually sync to your heartbeat with glowing pulses. But it does more than just that. It's more than just a costume jewelry talking piece. It will allow you to breathe underwater.
Oh? I can't swim, so that would be really useful.
Exactly. I didn't want you to drown.
Yeah. I worry a little bit about everything else that I'm wearing and all the skirts and the sweaters and the scarves that I'll just kind of sink like a rock. But if I can breathe, I'm okay.
Exactly. I figure if anyone needs this, it's you.
Awesome. That's good. I've been worried. I had a bad reading the other day. I talked to Circes about it. And I didn't predict that Rohilio was going to die. I'm upset about that. I see things. I should have known.
Yes, but surely you don't see everything.
I'm a seer. It's what I do. I'm supposed to.
I'm going to interrupt her by grabbing her, dipping her, and kissing her, and be like, "Did you see that coming?"
No.
Well, then see, you're not perfect. No one's perfect. You can't possibly predict the stupid shit that I'm gonna do. So,
I've learned that.
logic dictates you can't predict what anyone's going to do. Life is all about free will, different paths branching off in different directions. There's no way that you could possibly know what I'm gonna do next.
But it's what I do. And you need to brush your teeth.
Rude.
Oh, thank you so much for the gift. It means the world. The first gift I received since my father died.
Oh wow, what a downer. I'm gonna see who's at the back door.
Okay.
Oh god.
Okay then. So, yeah. This is D&D. All right, cool. We will then play it to where the orc brings the cart and he takes the cover off, and you find inside are some food stock barrels, some bed rolls, just general like bug out supplies, right? And he just kind of looks and goes, "Ugh, where do you want me to put all this crap?"
I'll help him bring things in the house.
Question, do you come with the cart because you're just a peach?
No, I gotta get back. This is part of my punishment.
Punishment? What'd you do?
Well, they don't take too kindly to pirates in this area. I got caught on a privateer vessel, and somebody seemed it necessary to make me do manual labor. Well, it was either that or the rope. So.
What's your name, cute stuff?
My name is Jarl.
Well, Jarl, you're more than welcome to come on our suicide mission if you're interested. I'm sure that'll get you off a couple years of manual labor.
Anything that would help me lighten this load would be a lot better. Maybe you could talk to the guards, see what they say. If they won't let me go too near the sea, not by myself.
Oh, well, I'm very persuasive.
And so, over a period of about a half hour or so, you guys are able to unload. And you guys do have, you guys have plates and some mugs and some tankards. There's a small keg of ale. There's, like I said, the general stuff that you would need to do a bug out or a camp out or a scope at a dilapidated building.
Well used.
A well-used building, yes, a well-used, soon-to-be new base of operations for Misfortune's Glory if they can afford it.
I was gonna say, uh, the room with the missing floor, so that way Rohelia doesn't fall through it again, or anybody
That's
else.
fine.
Please put some pieces of wood up saying caution, missing floor.
Nice.
Actually,
I want to get somebody to check the kitchen for bugs, and then I'll start cleaning it.
I
And I'm
will
not gonna
check.
bug check my. No,
Go ahead,
Why
Deluge.
not?
Do a perception
somebody
check.
else. I don't trust you.
What?
I love you, but I don't trust you. And
I'm-
she will actually say that. No, you're a trickster. Mm,
I am. After
never
all I've done, we kissed, man. I thought that stuff changed.
when Rogelio walks in,
Is it cutting out for me? No, it's cutting out for me. Okay.
anyways, I guess I'll do a bug check.
Okay.
Did I lose connection?
No, we've got you.
Oh, okay, because I lost everybody.
Oh,
Oh.
jeez.
I didn't even hear anything that Deluge said.
Oh, I said,
Aw.
we kissed, dude. I thought things had changed.
I think very well of you. I don't trust you not to play jokes on me. You're a jokester.
Since when? I am the epitome of serious, professional. Who's laughing? I turn around and, like, shoot daggers at Rogelio.
Morning.
Fine. We'll let Captain Almost Dead do the bug check.
I trust you to save my life. I trust my life with you. And she'll come hold her hands on her cheeks and just kind of pat and say, but I don't trust you not to play a joke on me. But I trust you with my life.
Doesn't that seem a little counterintuitive?
Eh.
Whatever. Grandpa, do the bug check.
He gives a little bow.
Don't, you're hip!
I know. Oh God. I'll be all right. And he bends down to look under like a cabinet or something, and oh God. And he's stuck like half bent over, and he goes, "Actually, you should do the check." And
Yeah.
he walks out of the room in a half bent over state, with his hand on his back.
You see, you've broken Rogelio.
He leaves the room.
Now I'm going to do this bug check, and gosh darn it, it's gonna go great. Oh my god. So that's a 3.
Okay. Roll me a d10.
Oh, goody, goody, goody.
Run, Oddity, run!
That's a 3.
Oh,
I need
my.
more dice. All right, cool.
Alright, guys, we might have to burn down the house after all.
As far as you can tell, there are no bugs in the kitchen.
So, probably safe. Probably.
Can I insight check her?
You absolutely can.
And should.
That's a whole 12. No, 13.
She appears to be telling the truth.
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe you should go check on Rogelio, make sure everything's. Maybe. Is there a chiropractor here? We had a girl in the circus. She could walk on someone's back. It was kind of amazing. You could just hear the joints going back into place.
Oh, all you gotta do is walk on someone's back. I got this. And then you just hear from the other room, oh god, my spine!
Jesus.
That is an accurate statement of what happened.
So, my plan is to find Rogelio and just run at him and do a dive kick into his back to fix it.
And Rogelio never walked again.
All right, go ahead and give me a dexterity check as an attack against Rogelio's AC, please.
I'm so sorry.
Natural 20.
Jesus.
And I'm dead again.
All right. Go ahead and roll me. Let's see.
A chiropractic check.
Yeah, roll me a chiropractic check. Roll me a medicine check.
Perfect. That's gonna be a 17.
17 with some fleet-footed accuracy and pinpoint toes of almost a ballerina. You're able to jump and kick your feet out in front of you, pointing your toes just next to where Rogelio's hand was, assuming that his spine was hurt. And you're able to drive your feet right between that little tiny gap between the bone and the muscle. But unfortunately, I need you to roll me a d6 for the damage because he wasn't really hurt. He was just being gracious.
Nobody other. Shannon's
One.
one of those few people that can
All right,
genuinely
so you
really,
take
really
6
break
points of
me.
damage, Rogelio.
How many?
6.
I rolled a 1 though.
Yeah, but a 1 doubled is 2 plus 4 is 6.
Oh. That's fair.
Oh, and Rogelio lays down on the floor now.
Think,
And since I did a flying kick, I'd be laying down too, and I'd be like, "So how are you?"
He's full on doing the oh, my back hurts really bad, but I should lay on the flat floor maneuver right now.
I think it's at this point that
Doing pretty good. Pretty good. How are you? I
I
probably
don't
deserve
know.
that.
Yeah, you kind of do.
If it's any consolation, you're doing a great job.
I know I am.
I'm gonna stay here for a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go watch a buff orc dude move some stuff.
And I'll say, Rogelio, while you're laying
Good
there,
luck.
you're able to kind of look down the hallway and through the door to the kitchen. You see a couple of insect legs moving underneath some of the cabinets.
Deluge,
Yes.
don't tell Oddity that there are totally bugs in that kitchen.
Oh, don't worry. I already told her she's safe.
Okay.
She's good.
I'm
I'm sure
gonna
it's
stay
fine.
here. I'm sure, yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably fine.
Yes, it's good. And so I just go skipping like down the hallway. I'm like, oh yeah, looking for my new orc best friend.
And he is there just moving stuff in, putting things, crates in different places. He's stacking some crates outside of the kitchen. I mean, even the orc looks in, looks at the kitchen, and goes, "Oh, no, no, I'll leave this here." And he's moved some stuff in. I also say that the guards come back and they mentioned to you that there's a storage shed on the, I guess it would be the northeast portion of the property, and they found some chairs and a pretty busted up table. So they're able to bring some stuff in as well. So you guys are starting to make it more, more of a working climate. After about a half hour, 45 minutes of unloading, the guards, say that everything looked as secure as they can, that there should be a detachment that is sent here to help you guys with the evening watches, and they should be here before sundown. That they had left, late last night and gotten here this morning, and so there should be another group that's leaving. So you should expect them, and they will always be looking for you guys. And they turn to head towards Saltmarsh.
Oh wait, I'm not there.
Oh, you're there.
Oh.
This is like another 30 or 45 minutes later. Whoever wants to be there can be there.
Quick question, guards, before you go. Can I keep the half orc?
Nah, he owes us some time. So,
Well, why not make him part of our suicide mission? What's the worst you got to lose?
the best that I've heard is that you guys are looking for some ship, and you're trying to break up some smuggling ring that we haven't been able to find for the last 6 months. If you find the ship, we'll get you guys the orc.
I go over and I just hug Jarl and I'm like, don't worry, we'll save you.
He goes, it'd be better than what they have me do at night with the slop buckets and then the outhouses.
Oh no, there will be much slop buckets here as
Oh, okay.
well. Trust me, we have plenty of fun, kinky things for you to do. Don't worry about it.
But the guards do mention that every time they have a cart, this is their guy. So he'll be the one staple that you'll see going back and forth.
Good old
Excellent.
And they head back down the trail back towards Saltmarsh.
Damn, there goes my only human meat shield.
Jesus. All right. So what do you guys want to do with the remainder of your day?
I think probably want to spend some time walking to look for, with his watch background from Waterdeep, maybe looking for any weaknesses or points of entry that people could or whatever could get on the property without us seeing them.
Sure.
Perimeter and the arrangement of the property.
Give me 3 investigation checks at advantage.
Nine. 4. Hang on. 19. It was a net 20.
All right. Throughout the course of the day, you find that there's only a couple of blind spots, but they don't look very passable. Your property, the property that you're on, does back up against the woods, and you do see that you have a pretty large clearing between the house and the woods in and of itself. You've been able to find that the stone wall encompasses what we here in the States know to be about a full acre. And there's only some sparse trees. You do find the storage shed. It's built out of logs. It's back of the northeast corner. There's a single door with no lock on it. There's some crates that seem to be damaged, but it looks like whatever was in the house that was worth saving has been put in there. But most of it seems to be a lot of trash. But yeah, you only see one blind spot, but there's a good distance between that blind spot and the rest of the house. And you can see the entire property from all of the windows in the house. You just would have to be in different rooms to do so.
Right.
What would everybody else like to do?
How tall is that?
How what?
How tall is that stone wall fence?
It's knee height. It's a handmade stone wall that was just meant to mark the property. It's not meant to keep anything out.
I'll relay this information to the rest of the group. Just explain to me.
Okay.
I think Rogelio might actually start trying to clean out a room. Just to start cleaning things up in this place. Probably one of the ones closest to the kitchen.
Let me look at the.
Not necessarily for him to like stay in, but just like
No, to make a room more habitable, right? Like
yeah,
either for like meeting or eating or whatever, just a room.
yeah. I think was there a dining room or something near?
There is a dining room. Let me put you on the map. At least that way you guys can see it. We will do that. And if you go down to...
Can we have a whole... Can we... Do you think now that we've been here...
Yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna see if I can remove the... Where is it at?
Fog. I think it's under the tab setting. Or the scene, or whatever it's called.
Right. Where is... There it is. No. Fog of War is off. Line of sight is off. There. Does that look better?
Still looks like a black void to me.
Looks
In fact,
amazing.
it's not even dynamically... Oh, go to... there's the thing that lets you reveal manually. If that makes any sense. This page just isn't updating for me now. It's a tool on the left-hand side, I know.
Oh, okay. I've got that somewhat hidden. Let me pull that out. I know what you're talking about. Reveal areas. Did that work at all?
Loading back in. Yep, I can see now, at least right now.
All right, so you have the first floor on the top and the bottom floor on the bottom. Or the ground floor on the bottom.
I think I would go for...
Yep, that was the dining room that has the long table, a chair, a fireplace. It does have the two bay windows immediately adjacent to the kitchen.
I think I'd go in there and just try to clean it up a little bit.
All right, give me a perception check.
Okay. 3.
As far as you can tell, you've done a fantastic job.
All right, that wasn't actually 3. It was 6.
You think that you've done a pretty good job.
All right.
All right, Calder, Oddity, Deluge.
I would have started mission. You probably would have started making his way down into the just, I guess we could call it the basement. So
The captain.
background, everything's set up with the tide coming in with the thinking different ideas of how get aboard this smuggling boat when it shows up.
Okay. You do see that there is the longboat still there. All of the supplies have been picked up and returned to Saltmarsh, which is why you guys got paid. Give me a perception check with advantage.
You said perception, correct?
Correct.
That's going to be 10.
You're fairly confident that it wouldn't take much to get the longboat out, and that with very little work you should be able to get it in just about any orientation. There is a shallow, almost a marsh-like reef that is. The reason is, of course, for the shorter board, the lighter boats to be able to make it in and out. But it does go out quite a ways, so you could even use that to your advantage. By using the oars and kind of pushing yourself along like a gondola, and that it, from what you can tell from the white caps that are appearing on some of the crests of the waves, ways out, about 100 yards out or 100 meters out, or so, there's definitely wind swell that happens. So you're somewhat protected from quite a few directions of wind, which does mean that you'll need to do a lot more manual labor to get out. But once you're out, you're pretty good to go.
It's back upstairs, probably everybody else getting situated and the general cleaning up after our and so basically opening up other doors that haven't been opened inside.
All right. You are able to find that you guys did a pretty thorough search of the house. Not much seems to stand out. This is it's basically been used for either stopping by for travel or for more recently. You can definitely tell that the entire basement area was much more well kept. In fact, give me an investigation check while you're doing all this.
Would be a 5.
You trip over a few boxes down in the scullery, down in the basement area, but you don't pay it any attention. But you do see that the entire basement area where you guys, where all those beds were, is much more well kept, and much more up to date with things. But yeah, that would take you probably the remainder of the day. Oddity and Deluge, right?
I would be haranguing whoever I can get my hands on into helping me clean up the house, just trying to get stuff in and get it livable. And other than that, I'm picturing my grandmother, who's basically spent her time nagging people into doing the things she wants and making them tea. So that's what I'm going to be doing. There will be constantly a pot of tea on the boil, and I'll probably attempt to cook something later. Our first meal in our house.
Okay. As you open up some of the storage crates, you find that there is salt dried and non-salt and fresh beef, fish, and pork. There is this assortment of root vegetables, and some cooking utensils as well.
I'll attempt to make a stew. You can't fuck up stew too badly usually.
Okay. All right.
With my party and I've talked to everybody, I'll just pitch in with cleaning up in the house.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna go down to that secret little basement cove we have, and I'm gonna go oyster diving.
Fantastic. I totally prepared for oyster diving. All right, no, it's not a problem for you to get out. You find much of the same scenario. It is a marsh-like reef, so it does have a little bit of give, but you're kind of used to that. You're able to strip down to your basically your diving accoutrement, and you're able to walk out for the most part, and then you kind of have to like tread water a little ways out, and you're able to find an area that you perceive might be suitable for oyster diving. Why don't you give me a nature check?
Alright.
And I'll let you do it at advantage.
Alrighty. Let's see, that's gonna be a 21.
All right. Over 5 or 6 dives, you're able to come up with about a bucket of oysters.
Nice. Any of them have pearls?
We'll deal with that after you give me an animal handling check to see if you can bring them back.
Ooh, nice. Let's see. That's gonna be a dirty 20.
Fantastic. You're able to get them upstairs. There's about 24, 25 oysters, various sizes. Nothing too small, but nothing gargantuan either. Why don't you? Are you doing all the shucking by yourself?
Yep.
Okay. Do me a favor for the next couple of minutes. Can you give me 24? No, it won't be that many.
24 percentile rolls.
No, actually, yeah, just give me a straight percentile roll.
Okey-doke. Let's see. 85.
85. You find 3 pearls. One is rather small. It seems to be rather new, from a newer grain of sand. That is the starter. So it's just it's a little bit bigger than I'd say a little bit smaller than a pea. You find a couple that are of decent size, about the size of a marble. They seem rather flawed, but they're still they're pearls.
Nice.
I think one other thing that Raheli would do is if he ever has a moment where it's just he and Circe alone, he'd take a moment to talk to him.
We could definitely, since Circe stated that he would, once he does his investigation and starts talking to people, that he would help out. I could see that Circe finds you in the dining area doing your best to clean. Like, hey, look at this, look at the table spotless, and Circe is like, yeah, it looks clean. Maybe I should help out a little bit.
Circe, I don't think I had a moment to thank you properly for at least what I think you did for me.
Well, it's my pleasure, and Lathanda will leave the darkness and return to the light.
Tell me,
In
have
fact-
you ever heard your God speak to you?
Directly.
Yes, directly
Felt
to you.
his presence. Not only been with me, but I've felt that I've been with him as well.
I feel like he must see something in you because when I saw flashes of my. When I was in the in between, I guess you could say, felt like I saw flashes of my life and saw my children growing up and my home. And I heard a voice, this powerful voice, tell me that it wasn't my time to leave yet. And in that moment, then I came back and I woke up with all of you around me. It's something I've never experienced before in my life.
I've well been visited by the Morning Lord. Of his. I still
It's,
have work to do.
I guess so. It's just something I've never felt before, and I think at some point, some morning, I might like to join you in your prayers.
You're very welcome. I'll teach you greet the Morning Lord in the morning.
I'd appreciate that.
It would be my honor.
Thank you. I think we'd continue going about. I think Rogelio would Rogelio feels weird about this whole thing because in his life there's never been any religion for him. But it's not every day you hear a God speak to you. But yeah, I think they would just go about continue putting this room back together.
I'm glad you said something, and I will always be in any way I can.
I appreciate that. I really do.
So throughout the course of the day, you guys are able to make the house a little bit more stable. You're able to clean up some of the grime and the gunk. Oddity, you didn't see any bugs in the kitchen. And I will say that as the sun is beginning to set, you hear from the road a voice hail you, and you look out and you see that there is a small detachment of 4 guards. As I'll say that as Rogelio and Circe are walking out to kind of take a look as well, Rogelio especially would remember, but you turn and you look and you see Oddity like busily working in the kitchen. She's doing a great job, and you're just instantly reminded that there was a much better kitchen down in the basement, but you tuck that away for a little bit. And you see these 4 guards approaching you guys, hailing from Misfortune's Glory. Denzians of Saltmarsh here to assist with the night watch.
Rogelio, I am Circe, Bronze Mist.
And Deluge, you were there as well. Calder, you definitely heard this. And Oddity, it's up to you if you were so transfixed in the kitchen that you heard it or not.
If I heard them, I would have come out.
Okay. So you guys all walk out, and you see them, and they are guards. They have their little knapsacks ready to go. They explain to you that they are there to assist with night watch, more along lines of watching the property and being there to either help defend the property or to get word to Saltmarsh in the event that you guys find a ship.
I'd probably light a torch and walk them around point them with the property lines. Work with them to decide how they want to set themselves up.
They elect to set up a campsite near the well. They're just going to be roaming around throughout the evening. and they establish that they won't come into the house without letting you know that they're coming into the house, and they would only use the front door.
Okay.
So they begin their patrol, which does mean that only one of you will need to stay awake there's only going to be 2 watches that are needed for you guys to stay awake to watch for ships. It's up to you if just one person does it or if both of you do it for advantage, or if 2 people do it for advantage. That does mean that you no longer need to watch the house in the evening as long as you trust them. But as they begin their patrols, you guys walk into the dining room that Rogelio and Circe has cleaned, and it looks great. It looks great now. There's some chairs, there's place settings and oddity. Why don't you give me, what would you use for cooking?
I will.
I have no idea.
Performance.
I was thinking that, but instead what I think I'm going to do is just have you roll me a percentile die, because I love percentile dice.
That pause.
That's. It wasn't a very good meal. I got 3.
You got a 3?
I got a 3. I got a 3 and double zeros.
Oh, okay. But it smells delicious, and you guys are definitely hungry, and you all sit around the table discussing what you have found, what you've discovered. Deluge, do you want to present the oysters, or those for you and you alone?
I think I would have dressed them up a bit with some salt, maybe some lemon juice if I could find any. Make them a little fancier. Cut up some chives to go with it.
Fantastic. Roll me percentile die.
Let's see. That is a 2.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. You guys are presented with oysters and stew.
We're going to get food poisoning.
And you guys definitely chow down. In fact, some of the guards even bring over some bread. And you guys are able to break bread together and eat stew and oysters. You tap into the keg of mead. Everybody has their own tankard. They start drinking a little bit. But the food seems to satisfy you. It seems to be rather well. You get that warm feeling from the mead. You get that full feeling in your stomach from the stew, and it radiates warmth throughout your body. But you guys look out and you see, as the sun is completely beginning to set, the last green rays of light that flicker as the sun dips below the horizon. And you know that it is time to begin starting your watch. What would you like to do?
We should get out. Prep.
What?
So you get that lantern primed and prepped to.
Whatever order of watches we take, I would like to take the last watch.
All right. So, Circe, I know you usually prefer last watch with sunrise. So would both of you like to take the last watch together?
Sure.
It'd be
Okay.
great.
There's only one other watch that is needed.
Take it.
All right.
I'll take it with me.
Okay. Deluge, you're able to just run around and play your
Deluge
ukulele.
about.
You can deluge about. Actually, I could make this even more interesting for myself. Deluge, while you were oyster diving, you realized that this area might be halfway decent for some nighttime oyster diving. I'll let you do with that as you may.
No.
Actually, I think I'm going to go. Well, everyone's busy with watch. I'm going to go out to the encampment of guards. I'm just
Okay.
going to sit with them by the fire. And I'm going to look all of them in the face and be like, so, who here has killed a man?
Beautiful. They all look at you. A couple of them are just kind of like, Well, this is my first year of service. Never really left the town of Saltmarsh. I handcuffed a guy once. That was kind of cool, and got in a bar fight twice, but I caused it once. And of the four of them, there's usually one or two on patrol, so you're able to get some conversation. You find out that none of them have ever killed anybody. They've seen some internal in-town conflict with bar fights and things along those lines. And there is one who has experienced ship-to-ship battle as a younger lad, and he's now in his probably 30s, and he decided to settle down and become part of the town guard for Saltmarsh. And he's been around for a while with the guard, but he has never killed a man. But he has, been there when ships have been boarded, and he's been boarded, and he's seen people die.
So what you're saying is that none of you have blood on your hands yet.
I mean, and the youngest of the group, who looks like fresh out of school, like clean shaven, his hands are meticulously clean. He's like, well, I washed them.
Cute. Cute. Do you know how many people that I've killed in this house already?
No.
I can't count on both my hands the amount of people in the basement that we had to dispatch of because they had stolen all of your town shit.
And another one who's sitting there with you goes, wait. That means it's more than 1, 2, 3, more than 10?
Yes, and as well as some lizard folk.
And actually, with that, you draw some attention. You've killed lizard folk here?
And hobgoblins.
We haven't seen lizard folk in some time. Hobgoblins, whatever. But lizard folk, they usually keep to themselves. They usually keep themselves out in the marshes themselves.
Exactly. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not sure my team realizes this, but they're solitary. Even solitary amongst their fellow tribes. Something is very wrong. And I want to make sure all of you are very prepared to slay people if need be.
It's almost as if there's a sinister secret.
Harsh. Almost. And one of them says, well, much like this fire, it will be lit if it happens.
Well, just know that any hesitation you have only opens the window for them to slit your throat.
The younger ones, of course, kind of like, ooh, okay. Well, we're here to help if you need us. Oddity and Calder,
Yes.
give me your perception roll at advantage. One of you roll at advantage for the evening to see if you see any ships.
Who's gonna do the perception? The advantage.
You want to roll, you can roll. I've been rolling low tonight, and so.
So do I roll with advantage?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, I'm so glad I did, because the first one was a 3. 18.
18. You see the same traffic as was last night. A few ships come in and go out. Nothing seems to catch your eye.
Okay.
And you were able to kind of understand a pattern a little bit better. You can see as the tide is see, it's night. So as the tide is coming in, that some of the larger ships are able to come in and leave. And that as earlier on in the evening, as you're watching, you're noticing that it's a lot of smaller ships, a lot of like sloops or like single-masted ships are usually what you see come in, and then the larger double, triple masts will come in later in the evening. A lot of them seem to go into the cove for Saltmarsh, or they go away from the cove and they stick out closer to sea and move up the seacoast away from you. But without that, there's no other event of the evening. Rogelio Circes.
What do you want to roll?
Go ahead.
All right, with advantage.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Fantastic. Since you're on the tail end, you see that there's the larger ships, much as described for Oddity, um, and you notice that the ships always have their lights on, which is something that maybe you've missed before. That there's always at least one or two lanterns lit, usually on fore and aft of the ship, and that way they can see things. That the larger ships themselves often have one lit on each quarter of the ship, and they usually do like a. You've noticed that they're more red, and this is more reminiscent for you, and this kind of starts to make sense. And maybe it was just missed the night before, but on the right is usually red, and on the left is usually a green. And you know that this is done by using just simple lights with colored glass surrounding the light, so that way you know that right is on red. So that way, if you see two lights, you know which side of the ship you're coming towards. And both you and Circe watch the exact opposite happen. So you see the larger ships, a couple come into Saltmarsh. In fact, we'll say that three large triple-masted ships come into Saltmarsh, and two go past and to the north, and one comes from the north and goes south. But as the colors of the sky begin to shift from that inky, dark, midnight black to more of the dulcet tones of slightly yellow along the horizon with a little bit of gold and a little bit of orange. As the sun begins to rise, you notice that the tide is definitely beginning to recede, and that the larger ships no longer seem to be coming in. That it's scaled back down to the long ships, the row ships, and the single mast ships, all of which have their lights on. And again, that's something that you guys may have missed the last time. But dawn is beginning to rise, Circe.
So as the sun comes up, I'll teach a prayer to start the day. Acknowledge the magnificence of the morning Lord by thanking him for his blessing and rise. Ask that he helps me do my best to carry the light throughout the day.
You see, Rogelio's kind of mumbling along with you, trying to keep it up as best he can.
Very good.
Thanks. Good.
Morning, and before you know it, you'll be.
Well, thank you. Again, I really appreciate you taking this time.
Absolutely. It's my absolute pleasure and my mission to bring as many people to the light again.
Maybe it's nothing, but I wonder if we're going about this whole looking for the ship thing wrong. Maybe we're supposed to be sending a signal first and not just waiting for a ship to come by.
Did we get some information on what type of signaling we should be doing? It seems like I recall there was a conversation about that.
We did. If I remember correctly.
One if by land, two if by sea, or something. No.
Well, you guys did find the parchment with the bullseye lantern that you still have with you that has the message combination. And actually, give me a perception check as you've been looking at it now for a couple of days, Rogelio, and let me see what you can make of it.
Since I've been looking at it for a couple of days with advantage.
Yes.
That is a 15.
15. All right. So just to remind you, and I can post this again in chat for you guys, the signals, because you may or may not need them this evening. We'll see. We'll see how this continues. Where is that thing right there? So there's the signals for you guys in our Discord chat. You're looking around, and there's that code is written down, and that's something that you guys have been able to almost commit to memory. So I'm not going to make you guys really have to worry too much about that. But you happen to notice on the back of the page, written in a really small scripted font, and rather blurry because this paper has been passed between pockets and exposed to sea air and all the awesomeness that exists. There is a quote, and it says, "Sails first, row second, rest well," and then it just kind of blurs off.
Sails first, row second. What?
Sleep well or rest well, and then it becomes too hard to read. It's just muddled through time and deterioration.
I think it might be interesting to send out a signal and see what happens.
Doesn't. Huh, perhaps. Certainly, we can give it a try. I worry
Absolutely.
that may, if we preemptively signal, it might scare them off. I don't know. We may have already scared them off.
And bring it to the group and see what they all think we want to do this evening.
Yeah, certainly.
Okay, and with that, you guys have all received another long rest. You find it fairly easy to put together some breakfast. The guards started packing up as the dawn was breaking, mentioning that the new detachment will be there that same evening, and that this cycle would continue as long as needed. And they depart. So we can roll this one of two ways. I want to see what you guys say about this conversation first, but then I have a question for the party. Because you brought up the idea about taking the should you guys be signaling first to the rest of the group.
Yes. Well, what do you think? Rogelio says to the party after explaining his Incersis idea to signal first to see if we can get the attention of a ship.
It's yeah, but I think like if alter the norm by signaling first, then make them a little. Because if ever, and then all of a sudden, from the smugglers, like, hey, this could be something. Something might be up, and we might.
Specify that the ship initiates the sequence.
That's what the code says, yeah.
I think it would be foolish for us to try to do something first. Because this doesn't really hinge on us. It hinges on the boat.
I think Rogelio would turn the paper over. Does anyone have any insight into this? Barely make it out. It looks like it says sails first, row second, rest well. Is this anything? Is it some just sign off? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Maybe instructions on how to or enter the approach ship. It's for approaching the ship, we goes up first and then we rest. Could be that. Or cryptic. Definitely don't think we should signal first because that might show our hand, and we don't want to, especially if we're going to try to take the boat by storm.
Certainly. Sorry, I'm just getting impatient. I I thought we
Uh,
would have found something by now.
Yeah, it's
When's the full moon?
yeah, but we don't want to.
Full moon is starting this evening.
Might have better luck with once we get better luck tonight, because we don't know how long they've been down there already.
Full
True.
moon is good night for smug, I would think.
Yeah. Perhaps, and I forget. Calder determined that it wouldn't take very long at all to get the boat ready to go. Correct.
Yeah, in fact, I will safely assume that through the course of this day, and or any future days, that you guys get the longboat ready and have it prepared to go.
Idea. I would talk through a plan on what we'd like to do. Go. Conceal ourselves in the boat, jump aboard, and start hacking away. I'd
Oh, I forgot.
probably try to take their captain alive.
If possible. I forgot. And my brain failing. Grappling hooks, rope. I bought 2 grappling hooks and some additional lengths of rope that we might be able to use to help us board. Or if we want to try to be particularly sneaky, I don't know. Maybe we can approach. Maybe we can get their attention and try to, I don't know, sneak out there or something. Sounds crazy. It's probably not possible.
I think deluge in the water could be our surprise attack. If we keep her alongside us as we're rowing out, maybe keep a blanket around Cirrus so they don't see his armor, and we row out there to meet them. And
Yeah.
deluge comes up the opposite side and does something if she can. And the rest of us just get up above and start cutting throats.
We have come up with the grappling hooks on that. We kind of use some of these that we have sitting around there. Maybe throw a tarp over top of them, but arrange them in a way so that way can hide crates, but have the crates as a crates.
Right, because that and some smuggled cargo in the boat when we row out there.
You could have Theo and myself, our backgrounds ourselves. We might be able to pass as
Hands on board.
fresh hands, and so. And Miss Oddity, if you want to hide underneath the Cirrus, could do so.
It's probably for the best. I don't look like a sailor.
Brush my teeth before we.
All right. Are you guys going to do more general improvements throughout the day?
I think so.
Everyone roll me a d10.
I think Rogelio. No, he should leave that to a professional.
Roll a 4.
Okay.
I rolled a 1. I would like to get Rogelio by himself at one point today, though.
Okay, not a problem.
6.
I rolled a 0.
Well, that's a 10.
I like to think of it as a 0.
And what'd you get, Cirrus? 5? Okay. Good to know. I will take that into account for the upgrades and generalized improvements that you guys may or may not be able to make throughout the day. Oddity, you wanted to get Rogelio alone?
Yep.
Go for it.
I'll act like I'm bringing him a cup of tea.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. So you had a bit of a close call, didn't you?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Certainly did.
Is that been the closest you've ever come to death?
Most certainly.
Hmm. It's
I
not bad considering your advanced age.
thanks.
Oh god.
I think you've been spending too much time with Deluge.
She does have an effect on people, doesn't she? But I was wondering, with everything that's gone on with you, if I could see your hand.
Certainly.
Your right
Hmm.
hand.
Pauses and then shows you his right hand.
And she'll take it, like, yank the hand and look right at it. You're married, right?
Yes.
A long time, and you've loved her dearly.
Mm-hmm.
But there was another, wasn't there? Or at least the lines are telling me there was another, whether you knew it or not.
There was
And you have
once.
children?
Several.
Several? Do you know about all of them?
As far as I know?
I'm not so sure. Those two diverging lines where I talked about love.
Yeah?
I don't know if it has anything to do with that other one, but there is a diverging line there. And she's just like, she's like this far away from your hand, just staring at the line. She's being very awkward.
He's just kind of letting it happen. He's...
And... I don't think you'll die today. But not for in the next little while. You'll have some more close calls, though, but I see... And she'll stab at a line with her finger. Just that one right there.
Yeah?
Something's keeping you here. You have something to do. I don't know what, but you got a big destiny line. Again, stab, 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 stab. She's got sharp nails.
Thank you, Al.
But, I think you're alright. Your hand's telling me to trust you.
Well, I appreciate that.
You need to stretch out that hip a little bit more. And you need to get that mole on your back checked. And she'll just tap you and I hope you're having a good day. And she'll just scuttle at her.
I think he would. As she leaves, he's just kind of standing in the middle of the room. He immediately starts looking at his hand, trying to trace whatever she was trying to trace. And he's just, what? And as he's walking away, he unconsciously scratches the mole on his back.
I also want to add that around midday, as you guys are going about your day, conversations, cleaning, organizing, finding stuff, almost all at once, at least over a 10-minute time frame, if you're looking at it from my point of view. In your point of view, it doesn't matter because it was just so sudden and intense. I need all of you to make Constitution saving throws for food poisoning.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, I'm so happy. I don't get 6 because I rolled a natural 20.
Nice.
I'm used to eating my own food.
I got a 15.
Okay.
21.
Okay.
12.
Okay.
The disease as a 3rd level paladin.
What did you have?
Immunity to disease as a
Immunity to
3rd level.
disease. Nice. Okay. And you said 12, Rogelio?
Yeah.
Great. So, you need to find an outhouse.
I don't.
You don't- so with a jarring bout of explosive poo and a little bit of upset tummy, you take 4 hit points of damage and find yourself now hungry, sweating, aching, and just feeling like you need a shower and maybe a bath in holy water, because that was just rough.
Oh,
These, yeah.
And I will say that based on the general improvements of the house, all of you at one point or another realized that for about 30 minutes, Rogelio sounded like he was dying.
It must have been those oysters. Can't trust
Probably. They
filter
didn't
feeders.
seem good at all.
Oh,
At least you rolled a
Nope.
12 and not an 11, because that would have given you 1 point of exhaustion.
Done.
So, you're able to recover mostly, Rogelio. Everybody else, your stomach's just like, even Cirrus, you were like, man, I don't know what I ate. Ooh, my tummy kind of not so good. And all of the rest of you felt that throughout the afternoon as well. But you're able to have a more suitable meal that evening without any issue. And another detachment of guards show up, same scenario as before. They set up a small camp in the same spot, and they start their patrols. So, who is on evening patrol this evening?
do it again.
well, I'll take the same thing with Cirrus.
Okay.
Unless Deluge is particularly interested in keeping watch.
Hmm.
I'm sleeping
There's
through the night.
that-
I'm not taking a watch.
There's
I'm
them
gonna
nighttime oysters out
say,
there.
I'm taking a watch. But
Great.
I'm gonna go for a swim.
Nice. Okay. So Calder and Oddity, give me a perception check at advantage, one of you. Deluge, are you going to go oyster diving?
No, I'm gonna swim out as far as I can and see what I can see.
Oh, this is going to get interesting. All right, good. Okay, good.
Alright, so perception. I got a 15.
Here we go.
It was a 15? Okay.
And then I'm gonna have it's gonna be keep an eye at what he can see. Have him on the top of the. So
All right. Miss Misery, why don't you go ahead and give me 1, 2.
Alright. And I'm assuming that we've all been spending our watches in the room where the lantern was.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. That is a 12. Wait. Yeah,
All
12.
right. So, Calder points it out to you. 1 point through the evening, you see a little tiny body swimming out into the ocean. Deluge, give me a perception check at advantage. +5.
Let's see. So 24.
So, after about a half hour of swimming, being mindful of potential tides and things along those lines, which you would already know. I mean, that's just part of who Deluge is. You see a ship come in, and it raises its sails. And from the forecastle of the deck, which is the front part up by the prow, you see a single person standing with a lantern. And you see long, short, 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 as it flashes the light. And you know that that is one of the codes, but you can't remember which one.
They're waiting for a response then. I'm gonna go up closer to the boat.
Okay.
What was the signal again?
Long, short, short, short. But you guys don't see it, Oddity and Calder. There must be a little bit of a fog. It might be a little bit hard for you to see. Maybe you're distracted by the little tiny deluge swimming out into the ocean.
Side of the ship flashing away from the house.
Yep. So you come up to where you can make a little bit more out of the ship itself. And you can tell that it is a single mast ship. It has a forecastle, poop deck, and a main deck. So it's got the flat part, which is the main deck. The forecastle is in the front, where the prow sticks out. The poop deck is the back, where the rigging and the helm are. Just so that you can have an understanding of how that description works. It sits between, based on the waves and things along those lines, between 9 and 12 feet above the water line at the main deck level. And you can see 2 people on deck at this point in time. One, again, on the forecastle with the bullseye lantern, and another one over by kind of around the main deck itself, kind of walking around. After about 10 minutes from the time that you saw that first signal, you see the same signal again.
I'm gonna swim up to the boat as close as I can get. And I'm gonna holler up to them.
Oh.
Okay. So you spend about another 10 minutes swimming. You get to where you can see the name on the boat, as it is inlaid in mother of pearl. It's a little weather beaten, but it's mother of pearl. It says the Sea Ghost. And you cannot quite reach the rigging to climb up, but you are within calling out distance.
I'm gonna say, ahoy! I have information!
She's been a traitor this whole time.
The plan comes to fruition, and with that, we're going to take a very quick break. So we'll be back in about 5 to 7 minutes. Take a chance, stretch your legs, get yourself a drink, get yourself a snack. We'll be back and see what deluge causes to happen. So we'll see you guys in just a few minutes.
This is fine.
This is fine.
And the seahorse cast Fireball. So with that event, I want to also include that now that Deluge has swum out to the Sea Ghost, and that Calder and Oddity have been kind of tracking Deluge as she goes. As you get there, as you prepare to call out ahoy, it's been about another 10 minutes. There is that signal again, and this time Calder and Deluge, you guys see the signal because you finally are able to see the ship by watching Deluge and let your eyes track out through the evening.
If Calder's next door, she's just like, look, 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 look.
Back with the lantern with the short, long on it.
Which code are you sending? The short, long, short, long?
Adam?
Send back.
Your audio keeps breaking up.
Basically, the signal we're supposed to be sending back, telling them that everything's safe.
Okay. And as you're doing that, because I have to let it play out because I'm really intrigued to see what happens. Deluge, you call out, ahoy, I have some information. And from over the rail, you see... Which one is it? Yeah, you see a figure poke its head over the rail. Appears to be human. Says, ahoy, what you doing near our ship?
Oh, I was just out for a jaunty swim. What do you think? I'm trying to save your asses.
What information do you have?
Let me up on board, and we can talk.
He says, "Don't move," and you hear him walk away. You can hear the creaking of the ship, but the waves are so much that you can't hear much more conversation. You guys are kind of almost having to yell at each other, just because of the wave crest and things along those lines. After about 30 seconds, he comes back, and there are two people with him. He says, "Come on up."
All right, I'm gonna climb on up the rigging.
Okay.
They give us the signal back.
You're up on the main deck. You can see the mast. I will go ahead and move you guys to here, but I will not move chat to there just yet, or the stream to there just yet. So if you look at roll 20,
That's a boat. That is a boat.
that is a boat. Let me see. How can I? There we go.
How
What
far out do you
Oh,
say this,
my.
I roll 20 is black.
Yeah, I
You need
see
to
like the vague outline of a boat.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on deck.
on the coast?
And it's a ways out. You figure it's gonna take you about a half hour to row out there.
Jesus.
I just figured when I was doing the signal back, I probably would have. I know with the familiars, it's 100-foot range that I have to.
Yeah, your familiar's there with you. You want to send your familiar out?
Get my familiar. I'm gonna bamf my familiar out. I can within 100 feet, and I can see through its eyes, its ears, but it doesn't have range.
Yeah, it's a lot further than 100 feet. It's more to the tune of close to a quarter of a mile.
Alright, so I figured I'll have Moonin out. Basically, I'll have him fly out
All right.
to eventually make a way.
So you're gonna send him out to kind of take a look at the boat and then come back and tell you, or to try to convey to you.
I'm
what
gonna
it's-
have him fly out, basically take a look at the.
All right. He ruffles his feathers. He takes off of the windowsill and heads out to sea. So, Deluge, you find yourself on the main deck with a lizard folk and two humans, all three with weapons drawn. Speak what you must.
This is an awfully rude reception for an old friend. I'm hurt. Honestly, very hurt. Where's the captain?
This one here draws his cutlass even closer and puts it closer to your neck. Speak what ye must.
Look, if you're gonna kill me, you're just gonna die anyway. So I'm not in a rush. Not if I'm going to be treated like this.
We don't take kindly to people swimming up to our ship in the middle of the night.
Yes, I gathered that. Can I speak to the captain, your manager, if you will?
Request parlay.
He's in his quarters. Give me your message and I'll convey it to him as we throw you off the ship if necessary.
No. I'm pretty sure I will be speaking to the captain myself. He knows me.
What is your name? And I'll see if he knows you.
Deluge Marshhand.
All right. So the one back here, no, not that one. This one, the one closest to you, is going to leave and go through the doors over here.
Mm-hmm.
And close the door behind them. The doors are about 6 foot tall, so it's fairly standard for a ship. And he's going to go downstairs for a couple of minutes. And this one's going to shift over here, and that's lizard folk is just going to stay back there. Okay, so about 2 or 3 minutes later. Does the captain actually know you for real?
I mean, I've kind of had it. I don't want to give anything away.
Message
But
me on Discord really quick, unless you
Yeah.
already did.
I'm gonna see. Hold on.
I think I know the angle you're playing, and I just want to make sure.
Let's see.
So over the time that that her and I are discussing this, your crow is able to fly out, circle around the ship a couple times, and come back. Are you guys doing anything at the house at this point? At this point, Circe and Rogelio were asleep.
Yes, I would have ran and wake Circe and Rogelio up.
What's happening?
I clicked on a button on my Discord, so that's not cool. Oh, good to know. Hooray. Alright, so okay, cool. Roll me a percentile die, Shannon.
Right.
So you went to go wake up Rogelio and Circe. And you guys are woken up.
Looks like the smuggler boat's
going
here.
on?
We got a message. They signaled us. We signaled back. The room with the lantern, waiting on respond back. But I think we should get on with the plan. Only started swimming out to the boat, to the ship.
You do thing like that.
Good question. We're gonna have to take that up with her when we get out there. But I've sent my Raven out to kind of scout ahead, take a look, and he'll be back to have something to tell us when out rowing.
Oh. Did they signal us to row out there?
Not yet. I figured once we got I came over to wake you guys up. Find out from Miss Oddity if they signaled anything back.
I'm going to go see if any of those lame guards will join us, and then go prepare the boat.
We'll talk about that in a second. What was your percentile die roll, Deluge?
96.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Good to know. Very good to know. So, after a few minutes, you see a captain walk up with the person who said that they were going to give your name. I got to move him around. Give me a second. And, yeah. So, you see the captain walk up, and he's got a long red and graying beard. He's got tattoos underneath his eyes and up and down his arms. He's wearing, like a leather coat, and he's got a very ornately bejeweled and sharpened cutlass. You see some really strange device tucked into the belt. All you see is a wood curved handle. It looks like it might be like a stick, but then there's some metal attached to it as well. And you see a piece of white string that kind of hangs off on it, and you can see a little bit of smoke. And because it's so dark, it's easier to see the embers glowing on the string away from the body. And he goes, I know of Deluge, but I don't think we've met. Captain Sigurd here. What's this information you have for us?
Well, before we do that, I hate to be that guest, but I'm rather chilly. Do you have a robe or a cloak?
No.
I see. Okay, well, the thing is, I owe some favors to some people, and some of those people have mentioned you. Of course, why wouldn't they? You're pretty famous in certain circles. I'm
Because
sure you're well
everybody
aware.
knows Captain Snake Eyes.
Well, I was out for an evening stroll of sorts. I needed to make sure your ship was your ship. And
This be my vessel.
I meant the name. I needed to make sure because you see, Saltmarsh is on to you.
And the couple other people on the deck kind of like stand back and they kind of ready weapons. And he kind of looks at you long and goes, "How does Saltmarsh know of our business?"
Well, a bunch of bumbling interlopers have somehow managed to destroy your works. I might have helped them, but it's, not totally intentional. I might have killed some guys. I'm really sorry. I didn't know it was you. But I had a feeling. A feeling that led me to swimming out here tonight, which, in the end, I think you'll find is beneficial for both of us.
And yeah, Sigurd looks at the human that came up with him and says, Bjorn tells me that a message was sent. Was that from our friends or from your friends?"
I'd hardly call them friends. But they are associates,
Oh, that's
and
the
they
wrong
are
person.
coming.
This is the person. There we go. It's
So,
even worse. But okay.
if they signaled back, they're probably on their way. And they're not going to bring presents from our good buddies at Saltmarsh. They're going to bring daggers, and they're going to bring death. And I really like these guys, I do. I don't want to see them die. And I don't want to see you kill them. So, could you run away this once? Could you not kill them?
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay, I have 4 d20s. Which one of these is gonna be good? I'm gonna go with good old Dwarven. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Oh, thank God. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. He says, aye, but this has been a profitable business for us. And we have an agreement with the lizard folk. I need to find a new place to offload my cargo.
You do. This is dangerous. And the thing is, we have a pretty cushy setup up there. Just watching and waiting for you guys to answer. And if nothing happens, eventually they'll lose interest. We still have the house. You get away with this. We might meddle again. I cannot guarantee that I can keep them away. But consider me paying back some of those favors I mentioned. I keep an eye on them for you. I try to lead them away from you. You keep your business going. I keep my business going. Everybody's happy.
And Snake Eyes leans in a little bit, goes, "But we have a small problem. See, we've already received payment for these goods. And if they're not delivered, then it's my neck, not yours. And I need a Constitution saving throw, please."
I was going to say, can I interject real quick?
Sure.
Has my Raven reached the ship yet?
Your Raven is on its way back. It's a 30-minute. It's a 30-minute boat ride out. It's a 10-minute flight.
If Okay, so when he comes back, I'll ask another question once he comes back.
Okay.
18.
18. You are not completely stunned, but you feel the back of the saber meet the back of your skull. You can do a strength contest to avoid having your hands bound. Snake Eyes looks up at Bjorn and says, "Signal them to come out, and let's prepare the ship for boarders."
You don't understand what you're doing.
What was your
We
strength
could
contest?
easily... It was 18. We could easily
Uh,
make a deal here, and no blood has to be shed. These people are just fools. They don't deserve this.
And how am I to get my cargo where it needs to
Leave
go?
Leave that to me. You find a new meeting place, I will get you the goods that you need.
It needs to be delivered tonight.
Well, explain to them that a friend of... Are you familiar with the Laval family?
Not really.
How could you not be? They're one of the greatest traders this side of the coast.
But I deal in a different kind of trade.
They do too. Their family carries weight. I'm friends with them. If you mention the name and you mention an operative of the Lavals is working with them, I'm sure that they will more than understand the slight delay, and I can give them something a bit more valuable.
Give me another strength contest. Ooh.
Oh yeah! 19.
You feel like you're resisting being picked up at this point, but you are surprised at the strength of this bandit who rolled a natural 20.
Shit.
And he puts you up against the rails of the main deck. Bjorn walks up next to you and says, "You've bought your friends one night. Throw her over, boys. Let's set sail." And you find yourself in the water. The rigging drops, the mast falls, and the boat pulls away as anchor was not dropped. At that point, Calder, your raven has returned, and it says that it saw the person who you described as Deluge climbing up on the main deck and being surrounded by 3 people.
Because it has mimicry, which it can I heard, such as a person whispering, baby crying, or animal chittering. Would it be able to mimic any of the...
Going back to where the bird was sent, allowing for the time for the bird to fly, accelerating that time, it would actually not even be there yet. We're adding it for narrative that you have information that Deluge was at least on the boat. And as you look off in the distance, you see the boat dropping its sail and sailing away. And where the boat was on the other side, you see Deluge bobbing and starting to swim.
That went well.
And we definitely, all of us see it, right?
Yeah, at this point, because you guys pointed out the ship and all that fun stuff, you now see that happen.
Good to know.
It came down to dice rolls. I liked it. It came down to dice rolls. So, Deluge, are you swimming back?
With my tail between my legs and my head up my ass, I swim back to my friends.
Good to know. So you guys watch over the period of about the next half hour as the ship sails off into the distance to the north, and Deluge, little tiny body swimming in the giant ocean, comes back. Takes about a half hour or so, and you hear her come up the stairs.
I want to meet her down by the down by where the water is.
Okay.
Preferably everybody else with us.
Okay. So Deluge, as you get closer to the cave, you can look and you can see some figure standing in the cave entrance for the makeshift natural dock.
I'm throwing a firebolt at her feet.
Ooh.
Whoa. Whoa. I come back from a swim, albeit empty-handed, but I swear the oysters were plentiful the last time I went.
You do realize we were on watch, right?
Yes, and you saw me swimming in the ocean.
Meeting with the ship, and then the ship leave, and you're
A
still
ship?
bobbing along and come back?
A ship. Some weird vessel. I asked for some food and some warm clothing just to rest for a bit, and they throw me off board. Not very polite. Do you think it was the... Wait, do you think it was the ship?
Do I think she's bullshitting me?
Deluge, roll me a
Deception.
deception, but whisper me the number on Twitch, please, or on not anywhere you want to whisper it. Just whisper it.
Okay. 37. No.
Nice.
Deluge that you might not have noticed while you were swimming.
Pardon?
Fires that we were to be looking for, and so this is so it's kind of suspicious that you just swim out, and then all of a sudden you're up on board the ship. You're talking to the crew. It's like, yeah, it's a little right there.
Yeah. I kind of swam into the ship, to be quite frank with you. I'm not really looking up when I'm looking for oysters. Thought I saw something gleaming, something kind of like the pearl that I gave you, Oddity. I thought perhaps, lucky me, treasure. And then all of a sudden, boom, I run into a ship, and apparently my head made quite a thunk. And they pulled me up, or, well, said to come on up, and I thought, oh, good, friends, and not friends. They said some very hurtful things, and then threw me back into the water.
Give me a performance check, and if you guys choose to do so, you can give me an insight check.
Yeah, Calder is going to be like,
I'm using a dissonant whisper. No.
Do you want me to send you the performance check whisper wise?
No,
too?
you can tell me the performance check. This is for the crying.
Oh, that was
16 for
24.
Oddity.
All right, and you guys see she's got tears running down her face. She's got the quivering lip.
Like, I think I have a pretty thick skin, like you have to when you're swimming in the ocean. But I'm very sensitive. They're kind of like young children who are mean in an accurate way.
And you
I'm
guys
very
can feel the
sensitive.
heartstrings beginning to pull
Yeah.
just a little.
It's
Dear Deluge,
like-
she's been slighted. All right, what were your insight checks, Calder?
Okay.
What was it?
5.
15? Okay. Rogelio?
I had a 15 as well.
Okay. Circes?
Dirty 20.
Okay.
16.
City. Okay. Calder, Rogelio, and Oddity, you 100% believe everything Deluge is telling you. It makes sense. This is Deluge. She just
Seems
brought you guys back
reasonable.
oysters the other night. All that you saw, Calder, was that she was on the ship and surrounded by 3 people. All that your familiar saw was that. Circes, you think there might be something off with the story. It just doesn't seem to rub you right, but you're not sure what.
I'll just keep that to myself.
So, chance we had all of this to get out there. Job. I'm out there. What were you thinking? Why did you go out there? Why didn't you just swim back once you saw the ship?
I didn't see the ship. If you're listening to me, I literally swam into the ship. I don't know if you've noticed this at all, considering we've shared maybe 3 words, you and I, but I literally can't stay away from treasure. That's my goal. I see something shiny in the water, I go for it. I don't pay attention to wood. Wood is not shiny. Boats are made of wood.
Okay, but then you decided to go up and talk to them? Do you not realize how dumb that was? We spent this entire time waiting, looking for smugglers, and then just decide to go talk to a random ship?
Friendly ship. We've only seen friendly ships.
Oh, you
I
have
thought-
no common sense.
No,
Worse
you
than
know
a
what?
lion trainer till he got 8.
Trust me, Deluge. Thing as a friendly ship until you actually come aboard and talk. You treat every ship unfriendly out there. There are pirates, smugglers. Yes, trust me. A raiding ship. It was only talked to you guys, never told you guys, but dead off of my own crew. My crew threw me overboard because I didn't agree with what the captain was saying. We were to do something differently. I had a conflict of conscience. I thought we were doing the wrong thing and I spoke up. And where does that leave me? That left me up on the shores of Waterdeep. Had I not had the courage just to pull myself off that beach and find shelter, I would have still been dead. Ships out on the sea. It's like that was foolhardy, that was stupid to just swim out there and on the ship. You could have been killed. We were an hour away from coming out there to be able to help you. Been head first there to save you, to help you. Health potion is pulling you back or away. Been able to do anything had something bad happened to you.
I don't know if you know this, but I can handle myself. I've been on ships since I could walk. I've been with crews since I could talk. I am a jeweler. I am a treasure hunter. And I know pirates.
I know fucking raiders. I was one. I got betrayed by my crew. That's why you don't trust ships. You don't trust anybody until you have backup or until you truly know the measure of the person aboard there.
Yes, trust. Let's talk about trust a little bit, shall we? Because I know all 4 of you so very, very well. Why exactly is it that you put your life on the line for someone who you don't know? Because of money, right? That's why we're all here, because of money. When it comes down to it, between you guys and money, I'm going to choose money.
He takes the necklace off, drops it, and walks away.
In the end, we're a team of convenience at best. I went for a swim, things didn't go as planned, and here we are. I don't need to be lectured by a murderer. I am one.
You can you should be careful about who you pick as your friends, because you never know who's gonna come to help you out or not. And because what the trust is 2 ways. Trust is one way going down there. Don't expect to be coming back to you. And so just be mindful of that.
I'm gonna just pick up the pearl and go back upstairs.
Well, pretty productive evening, right?
Something anyway.
Do you want to go fishing? Uh, I need to get away from this hostility for a little while. We already have the boat ready to go anyway.
True.
We'll say that you guys spend the rest of the evening fishing, thinking, stewing, realizing, just general thought. Through the course of the evening, both of you roll me a d12. Circe and Rogelio.
Can I try to talk to Oddity at some
Yes.
point?
Oh.
You can try. You can certainly try.
Anything.
Is this just a straight roll?
Yeah, just straight roll.
14.
Okay. Off of
17.
d12.
Oh, D12. I thought you
Okay,
said
so
D20.
20.
Yeah, d12. D12.
And for Circe.
10.
What'd you have, Circe? There's no audio again.
10.
10. Okay, both of you had 10. So over the course of the evening, you guys are able to pull in about 20 fish. Not a
Wow.
bad haul. All right, Deluge, Oddity.
Oddity. You can hate me all you want and think I'm a bastard or a bitch or various other words, but you're going to need this pearl if you want to live. You're surrounded by water. You're going to be on a boat. If you drown, then you'll die. I don't care if you hate me.
Oddity's locked herself in a room. She's got the door. She has stuff stuck in the door to preventing it from being opened. She knows how to hide, so.
And Deluge is like, do you want to build a snowman?
I'm just like, please just take the damn pearl. I don't want you to die.
No response.
Oddity, please. I'm gonna start like crying.
No response.
I'm just gonna tie the necklace on the doorknob and leave it there.
Okay. Over time, the sun begins to rise. You see the vermilion colors come forth from the sea. The sea turns from black to navy to sea foam as the sun crests over the horizon. And the house seems a little colder this evening, or this morning, than it has in the past, as you find yourselves in distant areas of the house, in areas of seclusion. Throughout the day, I'm going to imagine there's a lot of attempts for conversation, but I imagine also that Oddity is made her peace with locking herself in the room. At one point in the early parts of the morning, a messenger rides up, riding a black horse. There is a tabard hanging over the horse underneath the saddle. On it, there is a yellow, downward-facing dragon. And he dismounts his horse near the front door, kind of looking around, and knocks on the front door. This is after the guards have left.
I think I would not have slept, so I would probably be up wandering and answer it.
He opens the door. He goes, messenger looking for a Deluge Marshhand.
That'd be me.
He hands you a scroll. It has a black wax seal on it. And on it is the shape of a snake. And he gets back to his horse, and he mounts up and leaves.
I'm gonna go to the kitchen and read it.
All right. You open it up, and it's very hastily scrawled. And it goes to say that the ship has been docked up the coast to the north, about a 6-hour travel by foot. You have until sunrise tomorrow, or they will be coming to the house to help offload the goods. Signed, Captain Snake Eyes.
All right. I quickly light the stove and burn the letter
Okay.
And then I leave the house with all of my things.
Interesting.
Real low key seal snake, Captain Snake, whatever his name is.
Snake Eyes.
I assume you left without telling anyone.
Duh.
I think what I would have done waking up, I would have told Moonin to kind of like and just
Your audio is breaking up again.
I would have in the morning when I woke up, I would have banned Moonin back out and basically tail Deluge if she goes anywhere.
Okay, that could get
Group.
interesting.
Just keep an eye on her and just way that it doesn't you don't draw attention to you.
Sounds good. All right, the rest of you, all of you have the effect of a full night's rest. And as Deluge is departing the house, that's where we're going to end for this evening. A little early. Nice little cliffhanger. So, folks, we are off next week. I know, right? My daughter was supposed to have a surgery this week, and that has been delayed. It could be 3 weeks. It could be 3 months. We have some stuff that we need to look at, as well as a couple other people have some things going on this upcoming weekend. So we will be returning, hopefully, providing that my daughter's surgery doesn't happen in next week. After that, we'll be returning the week that follows, which is the 27th, and then we're off again on the 3rd because of that crazy little thing called Gen Con. So all that being said, we do appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you so much for the subs from Gidge as well as Chancellor. If you guys do have Twitch Prime, you get a free subscription you can use every single month. If you want to make that something awesome, make it my channel because I do what I can. But anyway, I do appreciate you guys stopping by. We will see you guys in 2 weeks on the 27th, and we will pick up where we left off as Deluge leaves. I will also be doing my behind the screen autopsy recap on, I think right now, Tuesday the 16th. Sometime in the early evening. This is open to the players to watch as well. It is spoiler free. It lets you know how things went on my side of the screen and things that I will have to do based on what the players have done. So I have nothing left to say. I will look for somebody to raid as the players say their adieus for the next 2 weeks.
I just
Bye,
have...
guys.
Yeah. Bye.
Sorry,
Screaming into
not
the void.
sorry.
That was something.
Oops.
Yes, it was.
It is always
we have
something
fun.
interesting.
We have fun.
fun with that, Cranio.
It's going to be great.
It's the BBEG of this campaign. Big bad evil girl.
All right, we're going to raid Dice Priori. But
Let's
again, thank everybody who stopped by. We appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and throw up the closing scene, and then we will raid. See you guys in a couple of weeks. Bye.